Yo, what is up, boys? What is up, boys? Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everyone. Guys, are you liking my YouTube shorts? Did you give that $100 to the winner? Yes, I did. Let me see if I can find the chat with him. This was me sending to the winner. Well received. That was the proof of it being his channel. So yeah. Let's go. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, everyone. Well, it was me. Your comments were botted. Your comments were botted. Yeah, guys, I give it to whoever wins. Let's go. Welcome, everyone. So this is the zone I'm looking at today. Today is Monday, not much news, so we will see. By the way, I'm here recording content at the same time I am on live. So what we're going to be doing, which will also make it much more fun for you, is Q&As, guys. So you can do me all of your questions. I will let you know when, not yet, but soon, in a matter of minutes. And I will be answering to your questions, guys. Why is it powering off? Do not power off. So welcome, everyone. Sorry, guys, I'm just preparing. Am I live on TikTok? No, I'm not live on TikTok. Why is this thing not working? Device disconnected. I don't understand why this thing is not working. One second. I'm just trying to connect the camera to my phone so I can see what's going on. Unable to join. Why is this thing not working? Join. Let's go. Welcome, everyone. Okay, now it looks like it's working finally. Let me just make sure the setup is good. Let me just make sure the setup is good, guys, and we will be doing Q&As here. So let me just make sure this is good enough for the videos. Put this over here like this. Good enough. And now the other side. Let me do the same. Okay, I guess it looks more professional like this. Let's go. Welcome everyone. Which app am I using? On screen you have TradingView. On screen you have TradingView. Not sure if it's good enough. Okay, guys. Let's see if the mic is on now. Yeah, mic is on. Zinuccino. Okay, guys, throw me your questions. Throw me questions. I'm gonna be doing a Q&A session here on live while we wait for the zone. So yeah, but do me elaborate questions. Let's go. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone, guys. I need good questions. Dylan is killing it, guys. I need good questions. And also let me open the spots to join community. And I will be opening spots very soon, guys. In the meantime, make sure you also subscribe and join our free group in bio, because I'm about to open spots for you guys to join my team for free. Okay, let's start, guys. Let's start with this Q&A. I'm gonna try my best to make it good for you, boys. Okay, so the first question is, have you ever had funded accounts or only own capital? Actually, I did start with funded accounts. The first time I got a payout or I got a decent withdrawal from trading was an FTMO 50K account. That was a 2K payout. That was my first real profits from the market. That's when I decided that, hey, you can actually make profits from trading, because up to that moment I was failing. So that's how I started with funded capitals. I got a payout from FTMO but this was back in 2022. FTMO, my Forex funds, Next Step Funded, and Funding Pips. I've got payouts from these 4 prop firms back in 2022. And then I very quickly moved to Live Capital. As I started growing the community, I started getting investors. I started realizing that funded accounts are not the way to go if you actually know how to trade, because you're just trading with stupid rules that you're better off trading without them if you are disciplined enough. So that's pretty much how I started. Okay, good. More questions. What time do I start to analyze every day? So my trading routine is very simple. I will wake up in UAE time more or less at like 8 to 9 a.m. Now with the so I will wake up in the UAE at more or less 8 or 9 a.m. and London session doesn't start until 11 a.m. So I will go for a coffee, I will clear my mind, I will make sure I am ready for the day, and then I will start analyzing the charts always maybe 20 minutes before London session. That's my prime time to analyze the charts. And between the 20 minutes before London session, and if I do not see any setup, I will keep on looking at the charts to see if something appears until, let's say, 1 hour into London session, just in case we get the London opening setup. Okay guys, we're shooting some content here. Do you study a strategy or is your system entirely your own? So obviously guys, the strategy I trade is 100% unique to myself. Furthermore, those of you that have been with me for years, or those of you that join now my group, you will see all of the recorded lessons from 2022 and you will see how my strategy has evolved over time. But having said this, my strategy is 100% unique, but the concepts I use to build my strategy are regular concepts, supply and demand, and what I interpret as liquidity, market structure, and these basic concepts, but it's the way I merge these concepts together to come up with my strategy that makes it different. VT market broker review is very bad. Many not got withdrawal. Please tell if this is legit broker. I mean, there's almost 7,000 people using it in the community. Those of you using VT markets, guys, is it a good broker or a bad broker? I mean, because it's freaking good. But obviously, what am I going to tell you if I'm sponsored by them? But those of you in the community that are using VT markets, let me know if it's a good or a bad broker. I mean, withdrawals are instant with crypto. Never anyone has had any issue. The thing with brokers, guys, is firstly that most brokers out there buy their reviews. Okay, this is no secret. All of the brokers, prop firms buy or fake their reviews. And secondly, who's gonna put a good review on a broker? Why would you ever put a good review on a broker? If you trade, you make money, you withdraw. That's exactly what you expect from a broker. Why would you put a good review on that broker if they do what you expect them to do? The main issue is when people don't do their POA, don't do stupid things, like small things, and then they can't withdraw and then they go crazy when it's actually they just have to do the proof of address like on any other regulated broker out there. That's exactly it. Let's see. When was my turning point and how do you remember that time and do you remember your capital? So guys, in trading, there is no such thing as a turning point. You won't learn one strategy or you won't wake up one day and you will suddenly be profitable. That's not going to happen. Trading is a skill like any other. It's a skill you improve over time. You become better. You become more discretionary with your strategy, with how the market moves. You become better at identifying when it's worth it to enter, when it's not, even though it's the same setup. And this just comes with experience. It's just a skill like any other. But if I had to define my main turning point was when I completely forgot about the profits. This was back in 2020, 2021. I completely forgot about the profits because I was so burnt out of trying to make money and not making any money. I was like, okay, it's very hard to make money from trading, or much harder than what I had anticipated. Therefore, I know there is people that are actually making money from trading, so let me just do the following approach. And this approach was, I'm just gonna manage risk and I'm going to follow my strategy, and that's all I'm going to do. I do not care about the outcome. And that, to be honest, was my main turning point. But from that stage to where I am now, there's a massive gap. I have improved a lot. I have become much better because it is a skill. Trading, it's a skill. You will never reach perfection, but you will only improve over time. Therefore, if I had to define my turning point, would be when I stopped thinking about the money and focused on the income to my trades and forgot about the outcome. That's when I really started to make sense of my trading. When I really started to see consistent results. I wasn't flipping my account. I wasn't doing none of that bullshit, but I was ending blue almost every single week. What do I think of using Orderflow? So Orderflow, like any other thing in trading, are just different concepts. Are different concepts that are also manipulated, that have also traps, and that you can be profitable or lose money with. Okay, therefore Orderflow, I've never used Orderflow as such. I did study it for a while, but really there's no need in my strategy to add Orderflow or to analyze volumetrics on the market. But obviously with order flow, you can find a profitable strategy by identifying order flow. The same way you can find a profitable strategy by trading support and resistance, the same way you can find a profitable strategy by trading ICT, SMC, or whatever bullshit you can imagine. Therefore, using order flow is just another tool, it's just another concept, it's just another thing you can use to try and figure out your edge in the market. Alex, I'm not sure if you do this, but do you invest or have an investing account? I do invest. I invest in my traders. I invest in myself. I invest in a fund. Sorry. So I invest on traders. I invest on myself. I invest in my own fund. I invest in other banks' funds, and I have a bunch of money on savings account. Plus, I also have a few Bitcoin. Those are all of my investments. I'm not that big into investment, as this might sound stupid, but I'm waiting for the right moment. And this waiting for the right moment, prices just keep on increasing and I just keep on feeling like I am missing the opportunity. But I'm saving up a ton of liquid cash or in savings account that is very liquid for when the right moment comes and deploy a good amount of money, especially looking at the real estate in UAE. And I'm also buying property in certain countries. Okay, guys, I'm getting some good clips here. My editor is gonna be happy. What's my favorite confirmation when entering a trade? So for me, my favorite confirmation is having all of my confluences. When I have 10 out of 10 confluences on a setup, that's when I feel the most confident on my setup, and that's when I feel the least anxious or the least stress when having to click the button as soon as price approaches zone. So my favorite confluence is just having all of my confluences together. That's my favorite confirmation. Do I have a setup in valid time? So I mainly consider, or I stop trading or looking at the charts always maybe 3 hours into New York session. It's very, very rare for me to place a trade 3 hours into New York session. Okay, my trading session will start at London session and I will track the charts all the way until few hours into New York session. Most of the time it's a setup I analyze at the start of London session and I wait until 3 hours into New York session to pull the trigger on that setup. If not, most likely I will not trade it unless it's a 10 out of 10 confluence setup. Then I will consider trading it even though it's outside of my trading time, but I'm usually very strict with my trading time. Do you have opportunity? Do you have opportunity cost if you have too much liquid cash in your bank account plus inflation? To be honest, not really, because my bank accounts keep on growing. So to me, to be honest, inflation doesn't really affect me that much, or I do not realize how much it affects me. Therefore, I do invest, let's say for now, I would say I have about 50% of my cash invested, which is not that low, but still I'm waiting on the right moment to deploy mainly in the UAE real estate market, which prices just keep on soaring up and up and up. But the main reason why I'm waiting to deploy in UAE, I have invested in property in some other countries, but the main reason why I'm waiting in the UAE is because my friends that have made money in real estate by flipping homes bought them 4 to 10 years ago, and they are all selling them now, and they are telling me that they are not buying now, they are selling and waiting for a right moment. Therefore I am trying to follow their money because I consider them to be the smart money. So I do invest, I do have money in savings account, which most of my liquid cash is in savings account, which I counter pretty much the inflation. So yeah, not really worried about inflation, guys. If you make money, inflation doesn't bother you that much. Please tell us your strategy. So as I've always said, my strategy is pretty basic. It consists of 10 confluences. You need 4 out of the 10 to have a valid trade. And the more additional confluences you have, the stronger the setup is. But yeah, in difference to most people in the markets, I have been trading the same strategy for 5 years straight now, and I haven't changed absolutely anything of my strategy. I have added several confluences, I have removed several confluences, but the core of my strategy has been the same for many, many years. Bro, ICT is bullshit. Guys, I do not trade ICT. I've never even studied ICT concepts. I know people that trade ICT profitably, and I know people that trade ICT and fail. At the end of the day, trading all comes down to you and to your ability to trade the markets independently of the market conditions and independently of the tools you're using. Therefore, I believe you can trade ICT profitably, and the same way I believe ICT it's just like any other confluences, just like any other concepts, which you can trade them profitably and at the same time you can fail with them. Just all comes down to you. Alex, do you consider volume profile before taking an entry? I do consider volume profile before taking an entry, but if I really want to consider volume profile, I would look at the COMEX gold futures chart, because there you really get a understanding of the real volume in the market. Because when we are trading with CFD brokers, the volume profile we see on our trading view charts, for example, it's the volume profile of that specific broker with that specific broker's data. Okay, that doesn't reflect the true volume profile of the market. Therefore, if you really want to consider volume profile, then you must look at the futures COMEX, at the gold COMEX chart. This strategy is ICT, LOL. All he talks about is trading liquidity from the previous sessions, Asian liquidity. My strategy is not ICT. You can say whatever you want. I do look at liquidity, but look, this is not session liquidity here. This is within Asian session. But those of you in the community, do I trade ICT? I mean, I do not trade ICT. I made a $5,000 withdrawal today. Thanks, Alex. Nice. I love it. I love it. And guys, let me just open the spots to join community before I forget. And throw me more questions, guys. I'm enjoying this. Okay, guys, I have just opened right now 10 spots to join community. I have just opened 10 spots right now to join community, which they are going to fly. Rolling Kajun Gaming. Well, I mean, I do not trade ICT. You want to believe I trade ICT? Believe whatever you want. And also, guys, one thing that's very funny is ICT and most people out there, including myself, we are just using common concepts and rebranding them. And that's what people sell. Me, I've always been using supply and demand, liquidity, and so on. And then there was a point I was like, look, my strategy is actually very fucking good. So I'm just gonna name it my own thing. And I started naming it STS, Snipe Trading Strategy. But at the end of the day, the concepts are the same for everyone. I just decided to name it my own way and to leave a stamp with my strategy. Okay, my messages are going crazy, guys. I know yesterday I wasn't able to open spots. Will I ever do a community meetup in Dubai? Guys, I would love to do a community meetup in Dubai. I've been telling you forever. If you guys are here, let me know. I mean, we are over 7,500 members in the pro group. Therefore, there must be a lot of you here, guys. Let's organize a meetup. I want to hear your stories. I want to hear more about you, your experience with me, how your trading is going, what you're up to, and so on. I mean, Tilam, for example, my number one student, I flew him out to Dubai. He's now working with me, trading my money. This week we have meetings lined up with investors. I mean, it's fucking cool, guys. So yeah, if you are in my community and you're in Dubai, let me know, guys. Let's meet up. Guys, my messages are going crazy. I'm going to meet you next year. I would love to meet you, Kevin. I know you are Mellow FX in the community, and I really like how you trade, or I really like the setups you share, because whenever I see your setups, I'm like, fuck, this setup looks clean. I could take it myself potentially. So you're doing a good job. I hope you're killing it in your trading, and I hope to see you very soon in Dubai. And maybe you're the next Dylan. We will see. Let's go. Welcome, everyone. So do I use liquidity in my trading? So first thing you have to understand when it comes to liquidity is everything is liquidity in the market. If the market is moving in one direction or another, that means there is liquidity, there's exchange in money, there's exchange of orders, which means that's liquidity, that's money being moved, money being exchanged. Therefore, everything is liquidity. I have my own approach to liquidity. And to keep it very simple, my approach to liquidity is highs and lows above or below my supply and demand zone. And that's all of my approach to liquidity, because usually when price creates these high and lows above or below demand zones, price creates what I call, okay, liquidity is completely subjective when it comes to technical analysis. But when price creates this high or low above or below a supply and demand zone, price leaves what I like to call a liquidity pool. And usually what happens, I would even dare to say 90% of the times, is price touches the zone and then comes back to that high or low I had identified as liquidity. And that's where I consider if I trim some profits, if I protect my entry, or how I'm managing my trade. Do we have to deposit on your free community? If you want to access for free, yes, you have to deposit, and the broker will cover your fee of joining. So you get free access. I mean, it's the best deal for you guys. It truly is. Sorry guys, and let me just remove some videos. Let me just delete some videos. Okay, we're back. We are back. So going back to the question, if do I use liquidity in my trading? So it's very important that you guys understand that liquidity, when it comes to technical analysis, is fully subjective thing. Okay, because liquidity is everything in the market. Every time the price moves, that means there's an exchange of money. There's orders being placed. That is liquidity. So liquidity is everything in the market, literally everything. The market is built on liquidity. But I have my own concept of liquidity, which is when price creates a high or a low above or below a supply or demand zone. That's what I consider liquidity. And this gap price leaves within the zone and the high or low identified, which I call liquidity, is what I call a liquidity pool. And there is a very high chance of price bouncing from my supply or demand zone and going back to that high or low, okay, that price has just taken out. And this happens, I would dare to say, 90% of the times. And when price fills this liquidity pool, if the risk to reward makes sense for me, I will trim profits. And what I will do 100% of the times once price fills this liquidity pool is I will place my stop loss on break even. Come on, guys, I want more. This motherfucker only avoids the questions. Feel free to leave. My setup, guys, it's a setup following my strategy like every single day. Like every day of my life. Same stuff over and over and over and over and over. And over 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 and over. Oh, guys, I still didn't eat. I need to get something to eat, boys. Do you know Frank Milner? No. By the way, guys, what do you think? What do you think of my new shorts? FX is more friendly than this motherfucker signing out. FX is a great guy. He's my friend. He's my golf partner. I always lose when I play with him. Have you ever decided to give up on trading? That is actually a great question because I have. In my come up to trading, I did decide many times to quit because I would do progress for 1 week, I would burn it all down in one bad day, and I was in a cycle of just being stupid for few years, and it was just so depressing, so frustrating. But what kept me going is that there were people making money in the markets, and I knew it was possible, and I was obsessed with it. You know, in my come up, I tried everything to make money: drop shipping, Amazon FBA, like literally anything. There was a time I was even selling reps on Instagram. I was growing accounts, selling them. I was doing everything you can imagine and more. But the one thing I never quit throughout was trading. And it's been like 8 years now I'm trading. Started trading when I was 15 years old. And I opened my first live account, a custodial account on XTB under my father's name when I was 16 years old. And I lost it. I lost the money. So I did think of giving up many times, but the main moment when I thought, okay, I'm giving up, was my main turning point. Because there was a point I was like, okay, it's impossible to make money from trading. It's super hard. So I am just going to manage risk and follow my strategy properly. And the moment I did that and I forgot about making money from trading was when I started to see some more consistent results. Do I have a bias in the market, or I'm purely price action, or I base my trading based off purely price action? So this is actually a very good question because I do not have a bias as such when I enter the market or when I look for setups. I do not care if it's a buy or a sell trade. What I have is a general idea of where the market wants to head based off the macroeconomic events, based off the news, based off everything that's going on in the world, especially in my case that I only trade gold. Therefore, I have a general idea as to where the market might want to move. But this doesn't mean I'm gonna stop looking at buy or sell trades just because I'm focusing on that bias. The thing I will understand is that, okay, market is keen to be bullish. Therefore, if I have a sell trade, I have a clean sell setup, I'm gonna take it either ways, but I am going to be aware that market will most likely be bullish during the session. So I'm gonna protect my trade quick, I'm gonna place my stop loss on break even, and I'm gonna be aware that I'm placing what I believe could be a counter trend trade. But at the same time, by following this approach, I've caught crazy trades on a super bullish market. I've caught crazy sell trades, and I've caught crazy buy trades on a super bearish market. Therefore, I do not stick to my bias as such. I will identify buy and sell trades, but I will just be aware of at the back of my head of what price wants to do or what's most likely to happen, and I will adjust my trade management to that general bias I have. Okay, guys, I'm getting content done here. I'm getting content done here. What's been going on, Alex? Lately, haven't gotten anything really. I have to be honest, guys. This past 2 weeks have been some of my most boring trading weeks ever. Not ever, of course, not ever, but from this year, some of my most boring trading weeks ever. But you have to understand, before this past 2 weeks, guys, I came from a crazy win streak. Now the market is being boring for me, even though the market is moving a lot. It's simply not retracing to my levels, or it's punching through the levels. Therefore, I'm just keeping it super chill and I'm waiting for the market to be responsive. With my strategy, especially those of you that have been following me for years, you have seen this over and over again. We have boring periods and we have super exciting periods. The difference from me and most of the traders is that I am aware of these boring periods. Therefore, I minimize my risk and I protect my capital as much as I can. And then when exciting periods come, then I push as hard as I can because market is being super responsive. So right now I'm going through a boring period, but it is normal. As I always say, boring times always come with exciting following. Now the main question is, are you going to be able to survive these boring times and be ready to trade when the exciting times come? Or are you going to be stupid, and even though you know that market is not being responsive, you're gonna still try to push and most likely lose money? That's what you have to understand, guys. Is trading on a Monday a bad idea? I disagree. For me, if I have a setup to trade, I'm trading it. The only thing I avoid is high impact news, but even if it's bank holiday, if there is a setup to trade, I'm trading it. I don't care if it's Monday, Friday, or whatever. Only conditions are during my trading time, a setup following my strategy, and avoiding high impact news. That's the only conditions I have to trade, and that's what I stick to. I don't care if it's Monday or Friday. You guys will see I've taken losses on Mondays. I've taken massive trades on Mondays, therefore. Furthermore, the trade we closed at 2,000 pips not long ago, and when price got to 4,000, that trade was taken on a Monday. And we held that trade for like 2 weeks, closed at 2,000 pips. So yeah. Usually how many trades give per week your strategy? So on average, we take 2 to 7 trades per week. That's an average. There's weeks we take 2 trades, there's weeks we take 10 trades, but I would say a safe average is 2 to 7 trades a week, more towards the 2, 3, 4 trade range than towards the 7 or 10. So yeah, but my setups are happening all the time in all directions. The hard thing is identifying the right setup to trade from, because obviously looking retrospective, every day I can be like, 10 setups have happened following my strategy, but I did not have the conviction to trade them, or I didn't even identify them. Therefore, 2 to 7 times a week I will identify a setup following my strategy and I will trade it. Sir, $20 is possible to trade in Forex. I mean, if you only have $20 to trade, then it's a good start. Okay, you can practice with those $20, but forget about getting the millions with $20. It's not going to happen. Okay, and if it happens, you are one in tens of millions of traders out there that has achieved it. Therefore, if your mindset is, I have this last $20 and I want to flip them to a million, I can tell you right now that's not going to happen. Okay, that's not going to happen under any circumstance, unless you are an exception of an exception of an exception, which is extremely unlikely. Therefore, use those $20 to practice, risk as minimum as you can, make them last as long as you possibly can, and use them for practice. Do I make more money on my trade runners or on my well-managed trade? So I make more money on my well-managed trades, really, because usually when I leave a runner for, let's say, 1,000 pips, 500 pips or whatever, I'm holding a 5% or less of my initial position. Therefore, it's not much. I will have closed profits wise, and the first 300 pips I will have closed, let's say, for example, $5,000. And then on that small runner that runs until 1,500 pips, I'm going to realize, let's say, 4K, 3K. And I do not get those runners that often. Therefore, most of my money is made on reaction to zones. That's what I always say. I make most of my money on reactions to zones. That's where I'm looking for a quick 1 to 2, 1 to 3, 1 to 4 risk to reward. I take off most of my profits, then hold a runner. Because I have proven over and over, runners are, or on gold, holding runners is always super worth it. Should we start a graduate course in scamming so less scammers can come? Should we start certified course to reduce competition? I'm not sure if you're referring to me, guys, but those of you in my community, am I a scammer? I think I am one of the most exposed traders and most transparent traders out there, because literally I share everything for free. Like, my zones are always shared for free. Therefore, I can't hide a win or a loss, because the zone, you guys have it. Before even signing up to anything I offer, you guys have all of my zones for free. And therefore, it's on you to decide if you like what I do and you want to learn more or not. If not, you can get my zones 100% for free. And I'm honest, I tell you guys, I had 2 of my most boring trading weeks this past 2 weeks. Some of my most boring trading weeks. The same, I came from some of my most exciting trading time just 2 weeks prior to this. Yeah, scamming the institutions. I mean, when I'm on a win streak, we do scam the brokers and the institutions and everyone. It feels unreal, my strategy. When I'm on a proper win streak, it like really feels unreal. But that's what I always tell you guys. You have to be aware that there's exciting times and boring times. Therefore, you need to learn to survive the boring periods and be ready for when the exciting times come. How can Alex scam you if he doesn't even take your money? Thank you. Because of STS, I was able to go full-time trading. I love it. I love it, guys. What's the name of my strategy? So the strategy I use is STS, Snipe Trading Strategy. The concepts are the same for everyone. I use 10 different confluences that are basic trading concepts, okay, which I call my 10 different confluences. The reason I called it STS is because everyone out there is naming their own strategies or naming concepts, renaming concepts their own way, so I decided to call mine STS. But to be honest, STS is a mechanical approach, replicable, which is also coded into a profitable EA, which few traders out there can brag about this. So yeah, STS is my strategy. It's a strategy I trade. It's a strategy I have been teaching for years and years and years. Do I have a video that did a proper breakdown explanation of how strategy works? Guys, you have. Let me just show you very quickly. Let me just show you very quickly. So you don't just have one video. You come here to the vault, as you can see, and you have all of these lessons on my strategy, and all of it with practical examples where I break down setups we have traded following my strategy. All of this is on my strategy, and it's been the same strategy since the first video was uploaded June 2022. And all of these are just breakdowns of my strategy. So many videos is confusing for new members. I mean, guys, it's all the same. 17th of February 2023, going over setups, examples of setups. And all of this, let's see if, I'm not sure if you will be able to see. Okay, but so pretty much what I do is using the same strategy. Wait, I don't want you guys to see the strategy because it's just for my members. But it's all the same. It's all the same strategy and reviewing setups I have taken with this strategy. Would I make some videos available to this public? Nah. There's a reason people join me, guys. It's mainly to learn the strategy. That's the true value. How does one gain access to my Snipe Vault? It is free for community members. Therefore, just follow the link. So yeah, boys, did some content. My content guy will be happy. Hope he likes it. I don't want to trade, guys. I want to trade every day, but I also understand the situation we are in the market. Therefore, I just have to be patient with it. Have you ever decided to give up on trade? many times of just being stupid in the markets, and I knew it was possible, and I was obsessed with it. You know, in my come up, I tried everything to make money: drop shipping, Amazon FBA, like literally anything. There was a time I was even selling reps. Oh shit, let me do this before I forget. You have sell reps as well, yeah, guys. Like, I mean, guys, I've been trying to make money since I was like 15 years old, 14 years old, like literally grinding. You guys have no idea everything I've done. Like, I've done everything. Literally, I've tried everything. There's not one thing I have not tried. I've tried everything you can imagine and more, boys. I have tried everything you can imagine and more. Everything you can imagine and more I have tried, boys. So yeah, let's see Goldie. Let's see Goldie. Am I trading the NYSE? Yes, I am. Come on, Goldie. And guys, make sure you all subscribe and join my free group in bio. Come on, let's see Goldie. Let's see Goldie. It's already 4:30 p.m. Guys, remember the change of time zone. Now my trading session starts 1 hour later, which is amazing for me. Let's see Goldie, boys. Let's see Goldie, boys. Let's see, Goldie. How am I liking the GT3? Well, I'm considering changing it soon for something very crazy, guys. But yeah, I'm not gonna talk much about it for now. But yeah, boys, make sure you subscribe, join the free group, and see you all in the community. I'm gonna set myself some alerts just to make sure I do not miss. And yeah, see you all in the community, guys. Bye bye.